welcome back to my channel. This was a super spontaneous last minute video idea because today's December 19th. So one, we have a few days until Christmas, super excited, so I'm already in my Christmas jammies. And two, it has been exactly 6 months today since I passed the CPA exam. I really don't at all think I passed. All right, auditing 82, BEC 75, reg 79. I passed 4. So I figured I would just talk about it, let loose. I don't have anything planned for this video. No real organization, so please forgive that in advance. I don't know where this video is gonna go, but I just wanted to talk about it to hopefully inspire those of you that are studying for the exam currently, or if you've recently passed and you might be able to relate to some things. However, there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, I passed the exams, or yeah, I did it in a month and it really wasn't that bad. I sucked it up and did it. For me, those 18 months of studying for the CPA exams, definitely the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life, including all of college combined. Nothing even came close to difficulty of the exams. But that being said, it may come easy to you, so don't be scared. I have a lot of people that comment on my videos saying how terrified they are because of my videos. I'm very realistic and open about my honest feelings. I hope you guys appreciate that. In every video I've done, I've been completely 100% transparent and honest in the best way that I can. That is how I am in person. I'm very upfront, honest about everything. It kind of takes people by surprise sometimes when I'm like too open. So anyways, 6 months after the CPA exam, first of all, I never thought this day would come, literally ever. Like, how am I here after the exam for half a year already? Time literally flies when you're having fun. It goes really slow when you're studying for the exams. You guys, in case you're unfamiliar, you just clicked on this video randomly in your timeline. I failed my first 3 exams in a row. I took audit 4 times. I failed the first 3. I can't even describe how discouraging, how beaten up I was on myself, and I'm a very perfectionist, OCD type A person. I've also never really experienced failure in a school setting, so that was my first taste of failure and disappointment. And for how much effort I put in to study for the exams, it was just crazy to me that I was failing them because I studied so much. Well, turns out I was definitely overstudying, overkill for that audit exam. And then I actually ended up passing the other 3 exams on the first try. That was a miracle too. You guys, I literally passed FAR 6 months today. I found out on my score. And I only made it through the first 7 units out of 10 of Becker in FAR. And I passed with a 75. If that's not a miracle from the Lord himself, I don't know what is, because I am not a nerd. I don't take up easy with accounting. I have to study really hard for it. I'm a very goofy, out there goober. I'm just not naturally gifted, but I did study a lot on those 7 units and somehow it brought me up to passing. But anyways, I'm still not used to it. I still thank God every day for passing the exams. This whole video, it's already annoying me how off the wall and random and rambling. I'm gonna go down all these different rabbit trails of stories or thoughts. One thing I can say with seeing life on the other side of the exams is, one, it's definitely worth it. Now, I didn't use it technically for my career advancement. I'm still in the same job I was in before. My job doesn't need the CPA. I know that confuses a lot of people about why I was so determined to get it when I didn't really need it for my job. I just didn't know down the road what position I'm going to try to pursue or where God's going to lead me. I want to make sure I have all the opportunity that I can to where I don't get stuck in a position where I don't like it. Also, the CPA exam truly was a calling on my heart from the Lord to pursue. And if you're not a Christian, you're not a believer, then you won't probably really understand that. I didn't really consider the exam a calling until I failed audit 3 times, because I decided for 3 full days that I was gonna give up and not do the CPA. And I had only done a couple YouTube videos at the time of the CPA exam, and I was kind of like, well, not a lot of people know I even tried it. I'll just act like it never happened, that I never even tried to do it because it's so hard. And I was really embarrassed by the fact that I was failing, and I'm an auditor and I was failing audit. And so for 3 days, I put the exams aside. I prayed for 3 days. I cried a lot. I was living in Nashville. I didn't have a lot of friends because I was studying 24/7. So I had 3 days of literally in my room and at work, just alone time, reflecting and praying a lot. And I woke up that Monday after those 3 days after failing audit. This was after I failed audit twice. And I knew when I woke up that next morning that God was calling me to do this exam, and he's gonna help me through it, and I'm gonna get through it, and I'm gonna be determined. I'm gonna give my best, but I am gonna pass it. I knew that next morning that I was gonna pass the exams. And obviously, as challenging as it was, and I literally passed 2 exams with a 75, it's not easy to say that I knew I was gonna pass. It definitely was not gonna come easy, but I knew that I wasn't gonna give up because God wanted me to be a CPA, and I don't know what the future holds. I have absolutely no idea, but I know that's where He's leading me. And so that was a big portion of why I kept going and didn't give up. For those of you that have asked me or that are really impressed that I didn't give up, it wasn't really me, it was the Lord's pull on my heart, and I was obedient and followed through with it. It was the most exhausting, draining 18 months of my life, for sure. Also, after the exams, no matter what happened, and I'm a very upbeat, positive person, probably 98% of the time, and I try to look at the positive side of things. And literally the past 6 months, no matter what has happened, the worst day ever, you know, something bad really happens, I've just been in that instantly. I'm like, at least I'm not studying for the CPA exams. No matter what happens, at least the CPA exams are done. And that is how bad I struggled with the exams. But if you're a homebody and you don't really socialize a lot, you like to come home after work and just have your alone time, I don't see how studying is that much different besides the fact that you're studying and not getting to watch a movie. For me, I socialize any chance I can get. I hang out with any friend that asks me to. I will never say no to anything ever, except for last weekend. I said no to a friend, and then my mom thought I was sick, and then my dad thought I was on a date because I didn't go to the church thing, and I didn't go to the Christmas parade. I just wanted alone time for a day, and everyone around me thought that I was sick because I said no to things. And then I woke up the next morning with this extreme pain of guilt that I said no to hanging out to people and church and my family, and it really hurt me because I literally never say no. I struggled with that so hard in college and somehow ended up with a 3.8 GPA, and I literally never said no and hung out with everyone every single day. Anyways, I'm getting off track. That is something I really struggle with, but it really made a big difference studying for the exams because I can't hang out all the time. I can't say yes. I can't do these extra family activities and play board games every day. I physically can't, or I would never have passed the exams and never studied enough to have the time to study for the exams. Also, I feel like I've had a whole new appreciation for life, and that sounds super dramatic, like I almost died or drowned in the lake and someone brought me back to life. It's not that dramatic. I didn't almost get shot in the military and survive a bullet, but just life in general, the mundane, boring routine of life, I think I see it in a whole new way, because before I was waking up at 4:35 a.m. going to work. I never had a lunch break for a year and a half. I studied the entire hour of my lunch break. During busy season, I studied for 30 minutes and then I took a nap for 30 minutes in my car. And then after work, I would hurry home. I wouldn't even go grocery shopping all the way or stop at like a cheaper gas station. I would just try to make it home as quick as I could and study for 3 or 4 hours at night. Then I would go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. And a lot of you are going through that right now, and I'm here to tell you, stick with it. It will be over. You're gonna look back and just be so proud of yourself for accomplishing such a big, difficult goal that not a lot of people have accomplished. I mean, sure, there are thousands of CPAs, but there are billions of people in the world. Also, after the exams, you guys may have noticed that I didn't upload a lot of YouTube videos really quick and like boom, boom, boom afterwards. And I definitely had a lot of video ideas planned and I was feeling super inspired to film a lot of videos. But as soon as I passed that last exam, I spent a lot of time worshiping, reflecting, reading God's word. I just feel like I owe him so much for letting me pass those exams and fulfilling that promise I feel like he made to me that I was gonna make it through with all the hard work that I put in. And I could have shared that with you guys, but I just feel like a lot of people don't understand because the exam comes so easy to so many people. And that's fine. A lot of things come easy to me that don't come easy to you, but it's just like, I feel like I saw that exam at a whole new level. And I feel like this all sounds so dramatic, but that was literally the hardest time of my life. And I have lived a very blessed life, so maybe that doesn't say much to you. And during the exams, I couldn't really invest in friendships because that whole awkward initial making friends, you kind of are subject to hanging out and doing random stuff all the time until you build a comfortable enough friendship to say, no, let's not do that, that's lame, let's go do this instead. Or saying, no, I'll catch y'all next time. Because when you're first making friends, the more you miss out on, the more you're not included. I'm probably rambling, but you guys probably get the gist. I joined a Bible study at my church and was able to have community there, but a lot of those people were in college. In fact, all of them were in college. And I was the only one that was like working full-time, but also studying an extremely intense exam that was worse than anything in college. So it was hard for me to relate to them. So I struggled with finding community there. But I feel like the 18 months of the exam that I was studying for, I really had lost my community, and I relied a lot on YouTube. You guys were extremely inspirational to me and helpful, and you guys were my community, and I hope that I was able to inspire you as well as you study. But I've always been surrounded by, you know, a lot of people, and I've always had a supportive community. And in college, I was literally with my friends. There was 6 of us in my friend group, up to about 8. We hung out every single day, like literally every single day. And so leaving that and then moving to Nashville with 2 random girls, living there for a year, studying for these exams, working full time, sitting at a computer for 10 hours a day at work, and then going home to sit at my desk for like 3 or 4 hours. It was a very hard adjustment. So I feel like it was more than just the exam that like really bogged me down and really just made me like almost mildly depressed. It was just life at that time. And I had to constantly remind myself that it's just an exam. It's not the end of the world. It is just an exam. And I still hung out. I still went on random trips, but I couldn't say yes every time. And that is just hard to do when you're a social person. And now since the exam, I've been able to branch out. I went to a different church's Bible study and got to meet some girls there. That was really cool. I've also just been able to socialize with my current friends when they want to and not just around my schedule. We can actually work around their schedule sometimes. That's a new thing. And I'm able to go on giant trips now. I'm going to the Holy Land in March for 2 weeks, and I'm going to Africa for a whole month for 4 weeks. Like, I'm so excited. Also very blessed to have a job that lets me accrue enough leave to go. I literally have 6 weeks and 3 days of leave accrued. Love my job, only worked there for 2 years. It's the best. That is all due to the amount of overtime we have worked. So it's not just a vacation package you get upon hire, it is the overtime you accrue during cop season, busy season. But it's just been so nice. Like, I've been able to watch movies. I actually started watching The Office after I passed the exams. I know, don't judge me, I never watched it before. I don't really ever watch Netflix, ever. I watch maybe 1 episode a week. But yeah, last night I watched Home Alone 2. The night before last, I watched the first Home Alone. It's just been nice to get to come home and just relax when I don't feel like studying or using my brain. I can watch a movie. Although I do definitely encourage you take breaks and you take a day off here and there. But if you're like me, it causes you physical pain to not study when you need to study and you have an exam coming up. I literally never let myself just like truly relax. I'd have to be doing something else, like hanging out with friends or hanging with family or doing a video for you guys. I couldn't just like sit down and actually watch a movie unless I was watching it with somebody, and then I would consider that hanging out with a friend and not just watching the movie. Just time in general is so different now that I'm done with the exam. It's just crazy how every minute mattered when I was studying for the exam. If I woke up 15 minutes later than I usually did, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to work 15 minutes later. That means I'm gonna have 15 minutes less of studying in the night, which means I'm gonna sleep 15 minutes less. Instead of now, it's like, oh, I slept until 8. I'll go to work at 8:30. Wow, I have to stay until 7 tonight at work. It's not that big of a deal. I can do that. It's not gonna cost me a whole night in failing exams. It's not as catastrophic as it used to be. It's also very different being a single person like me living by myself, whereas if you're a mom or you're a dad, you have your family commitments that come first, hopefully, then the exam, and that is definitely different. So I can't relate to that on a personal level. I definitely have sympathy for those of you that are tackling the exam that have families at home and jobs that you're trying to balance. It's also hard too having to ignore my friends' phone calls. I wouldn't necessarily ignore them, but I would answer it and be like, hey, if it's not an emergency, I'm studying for the exam right now. And then I'd have to like call them back later, which I never hardly did because I'd be exhausted after I was studying and going to bed. And all of my best friends are not accountants, nor do they understand the CPA exam. I'm very thankful for Julian and Amy. They definitely understood the most about what I was going through. They were extremely supportive friends to not really fully understand the CPA exam or why I was putting myself through such hardship. It's definitely something just between me and the Lord about why I pursued that exam. But also, you guys, if you keep up with my YouTube channel, if I keep up my YouTube channel, who knows where I'll be in 10 years? Who knows where we'll all be in 10 years? I'm pretty excited to find out. Just the free time. After the exam, I was able to go to the grocery store and go down each and every aisle. I was able to sit in my car when I got in my driveway for like 10 more minutes just to sit before I had to stand up and bring my stuff inside. I've also been able to read the Bible more, and that was something that I didn't like, that I wasn't making a top priority because I wasn't reading a lot during the exams. And right now I'm rereading Luke during December because of the Christmas story. Luke's my favorite telling of the Christmas story. And then I'll read Matthew, Mark, and John in January, February, March before I leave for my Israel trip and at the end of March. And since moving to Knoxville, it's been easier to make family a top priority. Plus, my sister had a little baby who is about to turn 7 months old. She was born at the end of May and I passed the exams June 19th. So literally a few weeks after my niece was born, then I passed the exams and didn't have to study. So I got to spend a lot of time with my little baby niece. So that makes me happy. The timing of that could not have been planned better. Thank you, Lord, literally. Also, me moving to Knoxville was before we found out she was pregnant, and then we found out she's pregnant, she's having a baby, and then I was like, if I would have been living in Nashville and my sister was having a baby and I wouldn't get to see it all the time, so help me, I'd be so ticked. So the Lord knows the future at all times. He knows all time. He is omniscient, y'all. He knows everything. He is paving a path for y'all you don't even realize you're walking on. If you're praying that you're walking on it. You may not be walking on the path, maybe stumbling on the cobblestone outside, but he will bring you back if you pray about it. This is turning into a gospel. So anywho, I don't want to make this video super long and drone on and on about the CPA exam, but I do think life is so much better after it, and it is worth it, and you do have a new appreciation, and you also have letters after your name, and you may get a pay raise at work or a promotion. I'm really proud of myself. But anyways, I would say I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling, but I'm just glad you survived through it. So it's just me thinking out loud. It's probably super unorganized, and when I edit, I'm gonna be really annoyed at my lack of preparation. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed now in my Christmas jammies, and I will talk to you guys later. Good luck on your CPA journeys. I am so proud of all of you that pass. When I see that someone passes on LinkedIn, I am just so proud, except for I hate when everyone hides their score. Not everyone's as open as me. All right, that's me being bitter. Okay, you guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.